Hey everybody, I'm Kathleen and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you the easiest pumpkin pie recipe that you will ever find. It is no fail, foolproof, minimal ingredients, and we're taking a shortcut because who wants added stress over the holidays, right? So before we do that though, I am going to make one of my absolute favorite coffee drinks that I have been making lately. It is this brown sugar cinnamon coffee. I promise you do not have to always go to the coffee shops to have a special coffee moment at home. And this recipe is just hands down one of my absolute favorites right now. It screams fall, even though, yes, you have seen I have started decorating for Christmas. But this recipe, you guys, it's so fun to make your own coffees at home because you can just play around with the ingredients that you already have, like this brown sugar cinnamon coffee. All you need is a little brown sugar, some cinnamon, your favorite brewed coffee, whatever type of milk or cream that you typically put in your coffee. And I like to top mine with a little whipped cream and a little extra cinnamon. It just helps it to give it that like decadent, special, indulgent vibe that you get when you go to the coffee shops and they make your coffees all fancy. You can do it at home with ingredients that you already have, which I love because you can control what goes into your coffee. You can play around with the ingredients that you like. And I promise it's so much better, honestly, than even going out. Because first off, you don't have to leave your house. You don't have to spend extra money. And you can play around with and customize it to whatever you like. This would also be really delicious if you did it with like a cold brew. You just would want to make a simple syrup out of that brown sugar. So that way it dissolves and you don't have like that grainy texture from the brown sugar. Now, let's go ahead and get into this pumpkin pie recipe, you guys. It's going to come together so quickly. We're going to go ahead and preheat our oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. By the time you have the pumpkin pie ready to go in the oven's already going to be preheated. This is going to happen very quickly. And I told you we were going to be taking a shortcut, and we're going to do that with the pie crust. If you want to make your own homemade pie crust, go right ahead. But I feel like in order to keep this easy, we're going to cut that step out and we're just going to use a store-bought frozen deep dish pie crust. You can also use the one that's found in the refrigerated section. You're just going to have to roll it out, put it in your pie dish, and crimp the edges. I said we were keeping this easy, and that's why we're skipping that step and we're just using the frozen one. It's so easy. You just take it right out of the freezer right when you're ready to use it. It's already crimped on the edges, and be sure to put it into a pie dish to give it some stability because that aluminum pan is never trustworthy and you don't want to learn the hard way about that. Now let's go ahead and get this filling ready because it's going to come together very quickly. It's going to start with 1 can of pumpkin puree, 15 ounces, and you guys use the store brands. The grocery prices are insane these days, and I have made this recipe for years. I've used name brands, I've used store brands. You cannot tell the difference in the end, so just go ahead and get the store brands. Save yourself some money because I promise you, in the end, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And I love using the silicone spatulas because it makes sure that you get every last bit of that puree out of the can. And then we're going to go ahead and add in 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Sweetened condensed milk has its place in the kitchen, and this is definitely one of those times. I have opted out of this before and used sugar. It's not as creamy of a texture of the pie, and it's kind of grainy because of the sugar. So go ahead and make sure you use the sweetened condensed milk. Do not skip that ingredient. It's going to add to the creaminess of the pie, and it's the perfect amount of sweetness. Let me know in the comments if you guys have a favorite pie that you love to eat during Thanksgiving. This is definitely one of mine, along with my grandmother's lemon meringue pie. You better believe I will be having a slice of that on Thanksgiving. Those 2 pies just scream nostalgia to me because I've loved them since I was a child. And now we're going to crack in 2 large eggs. If you're worried about the shells, just crack them into a separate bowl and then pour them in. I was feeling a little brave, and fortunately we did not have any mishaps. There were no eggshells in this pie, and I like to get it whisked a little bit before I add in the final ingredients. I told you guys this recipe comes together so quickly. So now after we've mixed this together a bit, we're going to add in a pinch of salt. I like to use sea salt. If you want to measure the salt, It's probably anywhere from a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon. But I just like to give it a little pinch. The salt brings out all of the flavors. And now we're going to add in a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg and a heaping tablespoon of cinnamon. I'm using a 1/2 tablespoon measuring spoon, so you're going to see me go back in there twice, but it is just 1 heaping tablespoon of cinnamon. And I promise you, that is all the spice that this pie needs to bring out the flavors of that pumpkin and to make it feel like fall, taste like fall, and just to come out absolutely perfect. And I love the color. It screams Thanksgiving to me, you guys. It's just absolutely one of my favorites. And if you think that you do not like pumpkin pie, give this recipe a try. I promise you, you'll be surprised. When you leave out the cloves, it makes all of the difference. Now we're going to go ahead and get this into our prepared pie crust. Break out that silicone spatula again because we're going to want to get all of that in there. No pie filling left behind. Well, maybe just a little bit, but that's fine. And then we're going to get this into that preheated oven and we're going to bake it for 15 minutes. Then we're going to reduce the heat to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and we're going to bake it for 30 minutes additionally. But before we get it into the oven, we're going to want to do a wash on the pie crust. You guys, you do not want to skip this step. It keeps it from burning and it also helps the crust achieve that nice golden brown color that we love to see on a pie. Usually I use an egg wash, but eggs are so expensive these days and you can achieve the same effect by using a splash of milk or cream, and that's what I'm doing here. Just make sure that you get all of the pie crust. You don't want to leave any of it dry because then you're going to have a chance for it to burn. So get it into that oven. Again, it's 15 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, then 350 degrees Fahrenheit for another 30 minutes. When you take it out, it's going to be just set. As it firms up, as it cools, it will be absolutely perfect by the time you go and serve it. You guys, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and like and subscribe for future content. Bye.